Wrestling 2020-2021 Awards Banquet. For those of you that were able to attend and those that are not, we are live. Thank you to our Edgewood Media Department here on Facebook and on YouTube, so thank you to them for showing up this evening. If this doesn't pretty much summarize our entire season, I don't think, nothing else is going to. Here we sit in the auditorium, usually with 250 people in here, and we're celebrating everyone together, so everybody gets a chance to hear these awards. But to summarize our season, here we are. We're sitting here with 6 feet apart, masks on, doing a presentation. So, I have a few thank yous that I want to throw out first, and then I have a few recognitions that I'll hand out, and then Coach is going to take care of the rest. And we have a lot of great awards to hand out tonight. So first of all, to our parents, I thank you for your dedication this past winter. I know it hasn't been easy. We definitely didn't get out of this when we were hoping to get out of it. We had a couple shutdowns that cost us a good chunk of our season at real inopportune times. One of them being right in the middle of the Chagrin Valley Conference tournament where we didn't get kind of just where it fell for us. We had some individual illnesses, we had some contact illnesses, and then unfortunately we just had, the COVID crisis that continued throughout our school year. So for parents, I do value and appreciate your support that you gave. I'd said this in every presentation that we've had so far that, we have AD meetings monthly in our league, and constantly people are complaining about how their fans act and how they have to get people to games and how they're standing at people at the doors, and I'm like, I don't have that problem. I'm like, we asked our parents to follow the rules, and they did it, and they came to games with the people they were supposed to bring, and I truly appreciate that, because we've got a real good name for ourselves when we travel to places, so I appreciate your support, and that goes to your young men as well. On the mat, they're very respectful young men. They're always complimented for the way that they act, and I think that's a big part of what's going on to my right. So I do want to thank my staff. I'll lead into that next. This has been a crazy year, for them too. I've added symptom checks, I've added temperature checks, I've added sanitation reports, I've added a numerous amount of things to them. And if those of you that are not aware, Gregory is not great with paperwork, but he has done outstanding. He has done outstanding. And for a young guy to come into this whole situation and have to deal with what he's had to deal with, I couldn't have asked for anything better. So thank you for your dedication to that. I think he's got an outstanding role model that I get a chance to talk to on a daily basis, 2 doors down from me. That has helped me make some decisions as well. And I was kind of a person that I can talk to, and I rely on those conversations on a daily basis. Sometimes he talks me off the ledge. Sometimes he might put me on the edge of it. So that's good. So that keeps me on my toes. So I thank them for their dedication. To Sal, I know Sal has been around. Sal and I talked about midway through January, and Sal had an honest conversation with me. He's like, listen, man, I want these kids to wrestle. What are you going to do to help me to get them to wrestle? And we've created that little pod situation where we had practices in January and February in very small groups, just so we didn't have to hopefully shut down us all over again like we had to do twice. So I thank him for coming to us, and he wasn't only looking out for Joe, he was looking out for everybody. And he said that multiple times in our conversation.
They were truthful, he got to the point, and he had the guts to come and speak to us, try to do our best to make sure we balanced it out for them. I do want to thank our boys. This is an outstanding group of young men. It has nothing to do with, I don't want to talk about the wrestling side. I want to talk about the way that you act and respect and how you handle yourself as Edgewood Warriors. And I'm always proud of that. I've always been proud of that. But once again, I think that's a direct relationship of how you are raised as your family and what you are taught. So thank you for what you do for me, because you make me look really good when I go places. And I walk in with my Edgewood stuff on, and they're like, oh, you're an Edgewood kid. They kind of know who you are and what you stand for. So thank you for that, because that's the utmost compliment when I walk in someplace and they're like, hey man, your kid, not only is he a really good wrestler, but he was a clean, very appreciative wrestler at the end of a match. So I appreciate that as well. I'm going to announce our district qualifiers. I do want them to come up because they are on camera. So I do want to recognize you. So if you would come up for our district qualifiers, and I will have you stand 6 feet apart, but you can spread yourselves out across the auditorium. Joey Jafraki. Joey took 3rd place at sectionals at 106. Jared Biller, he took second place at sectionals at 126. Kyle Biller took second place at sectionals at 138. You guys probably can stand closer to each other. I think you guys know each other. Josh Biller took second place at sectionals at 145. Troy Peterson, third place at sectionals at 220. Will Cooper, third place at sectionals at 285. And Austin Panito, fourth place at sectionals at 152. Once again, let's give these young men a nice round of applause. So as district qualifiers, you guys all know that you'll receive your patch for your letterman's coat, and we'll get that to you. Obviously, we had to wait till districts is over to see what we needed to put on those. So you'll get those as soon as those come in. So congratulations. You may be seated. Okay, the rest of the show is Coach Stokes, so I'll turn it over to head coach Gregory Stouffer.
Little vertically challenged. Thanks, Mr. Cray. That was awesome. First off, welcome everybody. Before I begin, Steve, I just want to thank you and the Board of Education. You know what? So much that you did for us this season. It wasn't easy, and I know you're swamped with everything that's going on, but in all honesty, we wouldn't have had a season this year without you. You know what? Everything that we did, all the success that we had, you were behind us 100% of the way. And on behalf of the team, myself, my father, Mitch and Alex, Sal and Mike Morrow, you know what? Thank you so much, because we wouldn't have had a season this year without you. So again, thank you. Hard to believe we're actually at this point in the season. Don't blink because it went by so quick. First off, I'm going to say, you know what? Thank you so much, everybody. Not only the athletes, you guys did a phenomenal job this season, but the parents and all the family members and everyone who stuck through to the end, because it wasn't easy. This was probably one of the hardest seasons we've ever experienced as a team or a district in the history of the sport. And it wasn't just wrestling, it was across the board, and we weren't the only team suffering through this adversity. We were doing this together, and I can speak for myself where, seeing you guys coming to practice every day and sticking to it and just sticking to the path, it got me through this. So, I just want to say thank you guys for everything, because we wouldn't have had the season we did without you guys. So again, thank you. Next, I want to say a couple things. I want to thank my coaching staff. First, I want to thank Sal, for coming through, especially the last couple of weeks before, and even when I was in high school. The last 6 years, 8 years, 20 years have been amazing. So, thank you. I want to thank Mitch Bidwell and Alex Marshall. All you guys have been through their coaching, and you know how important they are to the team and our success. We wouldn't be the team we are today without Alex and Mitch, and they play a significant role in developing us and making us the team we wish to be. And then finally, I want to thank my dad. It's great having you back this season. It's not the same coaching without you, and I appreciate every moment we get to spend together, and you keep me grounded. So thank you for that. And I'm really looking forward to continuing our success in the future with everybody on staff. So again, thank you guys. Moving forward, what I want to do today is I want to go through and announce the letter winners, and then we're going to do the special award winners. I'm going to talk a little bit about each class a little bit, and then we're going to go through the lettering. So first off, I'm going to start with the freshmen. And oh my gosh, you know what? I've been so looking forward to you guys. The last 2 years, you guys have been amazing. Your guys' 7th grade year, you guys won your division, Tier 3 of the EOWL. And then last year, not only did you win your division of the EOWL, you also won the EOWL, which for an Ashtabula County team to do that, that was pretty phenomenal and might not ever happen again. Along with that, you guys won the CVC, so it's like, again, when you guys came up this year, I mean, had some super high hopes. I know this isn't the season like anyone expected or anyone wanted, but again, you know what, thank you guys for sticking with it and believing in us, because I mean, we believe in you and we're really grateful you guys are here. What I want to go through though first is I want to go over the letter winners. So, as I call you up, you're going to come up to the table. Coach Stouffer and I are going to hand you your letter, and then you're going to, Mr. Cray, should they stay up here for the camera, or can they?
No, our special award winners, we'll get our pictures at the end, so just your letter winners, they come up, you can receive their award, clap, and then back to their seat.
Okay. All right, so our first letter, or freshman letter winner of the evening is going to be Kyle Venzel. Our second freshman letter winner is Luke Keeler. All right. Our third freshman letter winner is Josh Biller. Next, our next freshman letter winner is Seth Enos. Our next freshman letter winner is Austin Panito. Two more freshman letter winners that are not here this evening that I'm going to announce are Zeke Lucas and Evan Ranton. All right, so again, guys, thank you guys for this great season. I tell you what, we wouldn't have been 6-0, or not 6-0, 6-1 this year without you guys, because I mean, at one point this season, I think we started 7 freshmen. So I mean, we just got to stick together, and the future is going to look bright. All right, so again, thank you guys. Our next letter winner, and our only sophomore for this season, is Kirk Corrigan. Again, I do not believe Kurt is here this evening, but again, he is our second-year letter winner in wrestling. And again, thank you, Kurt, for everything this season. I'm going to move forward to third-year letter winners. Just going through what we have. Okay. So our first recipient for their third-year letter award is Kyle Biller. Next third-year letter winner award goes to Troy Peterson. And then our final third-year letter winner is Will Cooper. You know, kind of talking a little bit about the junior class. Every single one of them individually kind of went through their own adversity this season. Whether it was COVID, whether it was making the weight so they could wrestle, okay, or whether it was just kind of staying healthy through a bunch of like random injuries. You know, everyone kind of dealt with their own kind kind of bumps in the road this season, you know what, but I mean, it goes to show every single one of our juniors that came up were a district qualifier, and not only were they district qualifiers, but they made it to day 2. Again, Kyle, Troy, Will, great job this season, and right now officially you guys are technically seniors now, because we're going into our last season, so I look forward to working with all 3 of you guys next year. Great job and thank you. All right. Now this is the this is the hardest one. All right. This group's pretty special. The last 4 years have been amazing with these 3 gentlemen. These guys have pretty much paved the way for Edgewood Wrestling. Their freshman year, they were second in the state duels as a team. They helped win in EOWL Tier 3 championship. They won 2 AAC championships, and they also helped Edgewood obtain over 100 wins within the last 7 years of the program. Again, wrestling isn't just an individual sport, it's a big team sport, but I mean, these 3 gentlemen played a huge role in the success of this program, and it will be remembered for as long as the school's around. I mean, those numbers aren't going away, and those trophies aren't going away. So again, I just want to say thank you to the senior class. The first senior I'm going to acknowledge, who I don't believe is here tonight, is Brian Bisbee on his 4th year lettering award. So thank you, Brian. All right. The next senior I'm going to call up, we have your banner, and we have your 4th year letter winner award, and this is Joey Jeffraggy. And then our last 4-year recipient is Jared Biller. Now the fun awards, all right? These are our end of the year awards that we give, and we give a couple. The first award we're giving is the most pins, and this goes to the wrestler or wrestlers who have acquired the most pins throughout a season, and this had to have been the most difficult award. All right, I have to apologize to Steve because the number kept changing every week. Originally, it was between Kyle and Seth. Okay, then it was between Kyle and Joey. And then all of a sudden, Troy and Will, jumped into the mix. And then it was just, oh my gosh, it was a mess. And then I needed to have awards done before sectionals, and I didn't have all the answers. So again, Steve, I apologize for putting you through all that.
Time I did that.
Yeah. So it's only changed 3 times, okay? So we're gonna start with most pins for this season. And this year's most pins goes to 3 athletes. I'm gonna call you guys up one at a time. Our first athlete for receiving the most pins goes to Kyle Biller. And I keep laughing about this because it came down to the wire at districts, and all 3 of these individuals ended up earning a pin at districts to solidify this award. Our next most pin recipient goes to Will Cooper. And then Mitch Bidwell would be really proud of this one. Our third most pin recipient goes to Troy Peterson with the 3/4 Nelson, or purple side. Yeah, it is. Okay. Our next award recipient is not here this evening. This award is a memorial award that goes to Rick Rogers. Rick was a great wrestler that wrestled for my father back in the late 90s, early 2000s, right? Just a great gentleman, did everything he could for the sport, for his team, and this is in memory of Rick Rogers. Our award recipient tonight is Kirk Corrigan. Kurt's put in a lot of extra time and kind of has led this season by example, whether it's working really hard in practice or whether it's showing up at 6:30 on a Sunday morning at the Kingsville Library running 6 miles. You know what? He's put in the work, doesn't complain, and he'll do whatever he needs to help his team, whether it's going to a weight class that nobody wants to go to or just going with a drill partner that needs a little extra help, So this year's Rick Rogers Award goes to Kirk Corrigan. Our next award is Most Improved, and this one was an extremely difficult award for my father and I. And originally, I didn't have a Most Improved on the list for Mr. Cray, so again, I was making his life extremely difficult, and I apologize for that. But normally, Most Improved, we look at the whole season, and it was extremely difficult this year because we didn't have a full season. So we were kind of looking at sectionals and districts, but at the same time, we were terrified that we weren't going to be able to wrestle at sectionals and districts due to COVID. And in this situation, one thing kind of came to mind. Usually when we look at Most Improved, my father and I look at how far you make it down the road, along with other things that occur during the season. And this individual has come an extremely long way this year, and it just didn't give up. Going into sectionals, they only had one match, all right, compared to all their teammates. And they were pretty fresh. They came to practice all the time, they listened, extremely coachable. And I tell you what, they did everything they needed to do right, and it paid dividends in the end. They didn't even know that they were going to be wrestling, and then, lightning strikes, and you get in the tournament. And then next thing you know, you're wrestling maybe 2 weight classes up, but it doesn't matter. You know what, you win one, you put another one together, next thing you know, you're in the consolation semis, you win that one, you're going to districts. All right, which is extremely impressive, especially for a freshman. This year's Most Improved Award recipient goes to Austin Panito. Now we have 2 more awards, all right. The next award is the Jack Danis Memorial Award. Jack Danis was a highly decorated wrestler in the 70s. Unfortunately, he had a tragic swimming accident in Lake Erie and unfortunately passed away way before his time. This award is in memory of Jack Danis' grit and just determination in the sport of wrestling. This year's recipient has come a long way in the 4 years or 6 years I've had the privilege to work with him. Again, has put in a ton of time, 7 days a week, and strives to improve himself in every aspect as an athlete as he can. I've had a lot of fun and a lot of great memories working with this individual. This year's Jack Danis Memorial Award recipient is Joey Jafracki. And then our final award goes to an extremely significant group of individuals. And this member is joining the club. This award is over 100 career victories. And that is extremely impressive, especially when one of your seasons is cut down to only 10 matches. That significantly says a lot about how successful your whole career as an individual wrestler. It's not an easy, not an easy path to take, working your way to 100. And in a lot of cases, every match counts. And for this gentleman, there's been a lot of times where the score might not have been in his favor, but I mean, if he hits a chin whip or if he jumps his hips over, that person's stuck, and that's just one more win towards 100. Again, it's been a great 6 years. It's been especially a great 4 years. And you know what? We are truly lucky to have this individual come through our program. Congratulations, Jared Biller, on your 100 career victories. And with that being said, there's only one more thing. I do have some EOWL patches for the sophomores, juniors, and seniors. If you did not receive them the week before districts, I do want to pass those out. Again, I want to say thank you to all of the parents for your patience. I'm not the easiest coach to work with, especially when it comes to communication. So again, I really appreciate you guys just being patient with me. Jared, Joey, Brian, you know what, thank you guys for everything you guys did and still do. You know what, the door's always open. Hopefully when COVID subsides, you know what, you're always welcome back. For everyone else, you know what, I'm looking forward to the next however long we have. You know what, juniors, you got 1 more year. Sophomores, you have 2 more years. Freshmen, you have 3 more years. You know what, it's up to you. I read a really interesting thing today about a gentleman from Olentangy, Liberty. He's a junior, and when he was younger, he was diagnosed with cancer in both of his eyes. And they removed his eyes when he was really young, and he was also diagnosed with autism. This gentleman is wrestling in the state tournament this weekend at 160 pounds. And he's wrestling Patty Gallagher from St. Edwards, who's probably in the top 5, if not number 1, in the flow wrestling pound for pound, toughest wrestler in the country right now in high school. You know what? And you have a gentleman who is blind and autistic and has probably had every excuse in the book to give, and he's wrestling in Columbus this weekend in Division I. You know what? If you can find that article that I was kind of checking out today in the state of Ohio, check it out. Because it's amazing how, regardless of what adversity or what challenges you have to deal with, you know what, you can find a way to succeed, just like this gentleman did. You know what, if you guys need anything, we're always in your corner. You know what, there's a ton of coaches, parents, and other support that are willing to help you guys with whatever you guys need. You know what, but again, a lot of that starts with you and the person you see in the mirror. Again, thank you guys. We had a great season. We went 6-0. You know what, we sent 8 guys to district, 7 wrestlers, and we had 5 guys make it to the second day, and we started 7 freshmen. You know, phenomenal season. I'm looking forward to the future, and if you guys need anything, let us know. Thank you guys.
Just a couple closing remarks for all of our special award winners. The Jack Fanis Award winner, Rick Rogers, MIP, 100th win, most pins. I need pictures of individuals. We'll do them in front of the backdrop. You guys are more than happy to take family pictures, do what you guys would like to do. As long as you're up here and you're with your own family, you can have your masks off. As long as you're not around a cluster of other families, you can take pictures wherever else you want in the building. So seniors, if you want to get a couple pictures in the room, you're more than welcome to go do that. I just ask that you keep your masks on when you're around others. Thank you guys again for coming, and we look forward to a successful spring season, and hopefully see you guys around here next year. Thank you.